it's going to be Joe Flacco and keep the young guys. I think the more interesting conversation at this point is, does Dallas call and try to trade for either Kenny Pickett or, Jameis Winston from the standpoint of, Joe Milton wasn't very good. Cooper Rush graduated, went to Baltimore. So, you look at the Giants and the Browns, and it looks like they have a surplus, and there's a couple teams, most notably the, Cowboys, that need a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Milton was all-time bad against the Baltimore Ravens. It doesn't look like he can play NFL quarterback right now. For him to be your number two, that is absolutely problematic. Mr. T, go ahead.
Especially when you think about, like, Dak, 3 of the last 4 years hasn't, finished a season. Again, like, justifiably so, Mike is getting all the attention right now.
Yeah.
But if we were running the Cowboys, guys, like, we're one hit away from who is going into the game.
Mr. T, Dillon Gabriel. Quote, there's entertainers and competitors. I'm a competitor. End quote. Can't lie, the comment initially felt like shades of Oregon head coach Dan Lanning prior to their game against Colorado last season. But even if it was directed toward the media and not Shedeur, why make the statement? Who does it serve? How does it help? No point in creating an adversarial dynamic between players and reporters. As a third-round pick in a 5-quarterback battle, what's the point of creating a sensational headline? 2 turnovers, including a pick 6, is the reality that Gabriel is in after his preseason debut. It's not a narrative. It's not biased. As they say, the eye in the sky don't lie. Now, are the turnovers all on him? No. And I thought Dan Orlovsky did a great job of breaking down on social media and highlighting the footwork on Gabriel's fumbled quarterback-running back exchange, calling it a teachable moment. But here's the thing. Accountability is important. It's a really important facet of leadership, and quarterback is a leadership position by nature. Gabriel's response to Saturday's preseason performance demonstrated a lack of maturity. Anything other than stating room for improvement shows that he not only needs to get better on the field, but he needs to get better at the podium. It's a component of the job. Now, in fairness to Gabriel, he was asked a question about how does he block out the media noise. Mm-hmm. I don't think that was the appropriate answer. The right answer for Dillon Gabriel would have been to focus on getting better. Even if you do hear the noise, you have to ignore the noise.
Of course.
Because you've got a job to do. As a competitor, you've got to focus on trying to win that quarterback job. Period. Hard stop. I don't understand why you have to say entertainers and competitors, and the media is entertainers, and you as a competitor. It just doesn't make any sense. And furthermore, I will say this. I don't think anybody has ever bought a ticket to watch the media do anything. I don't think anybody's ever tuned in to watch the media do anything. So, I mean, as far as them being entertainers, I don't get that aspect of it. But for Dillon Gabriel, I don't understand why he needed to take it there.
You don't think you're an entertainer? I find you very entertaining myself.
You find me entertaining?
Yeah, you say the media. We're not entertainers. You don't think that people tune in every day to hear what you have to say, and that part of that isn't entertainment?
I believe that what we do is entertainment. I don't know that what the beat writers do is entertainment. I don't think the beat writers are entertainers.
Okay, but you say people don't buy a ticket for it. People pay behind a paywall to read what people have to say. They're giving their money to see what people have to say. Okay. But either way, what a learning moment for Dillon Gabriel, because he answered the question, and he probably had no idea that it was going to cause this much of a firestorm. And yes, you're a rookie, and yes, this is a learning moment, a teachable moment for you. But whether or not you were taking shots at the media or something else, you should be focusing on yourself. And I would imagine that moving forward, he's going to choose his words very carefully.
He better. Because, I mean, the juxtaposition of what he did after his preseason debut, how he answered questions versus Shedeur is jarring. Mm-hmm. Like, it's clear that one guy was ready for the moment in terms of how to handle the media, and the other guy wasn't.
Right.
It just happens to be not the guy that everybody expected. Shedeur Sanders was much more polished, much more buttoned up in how he handled the media versus Dillon Gabriel.
One more thing quickly. If Shedeur Sanders wasn't also on the depth chart and Dillon Gabriel made these comments, we wouldn't even be talking about them. So he has to also realize that the guy he's competing for this job is bringing additional spotlight to him, and that everything he says and does is going to be even more hyper-analyzed than it would in any other organization or any other situation.
Yeah, it's unavoidable. You're going to have the verses between Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel. I don't know why Dillon Gabriel wants to have the verses between him and the media.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I digress. Next.
Number 1.
Upon Further Review is brought to you by Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Get great deals on the hottest tickets. Experience it live with Vivid Seats. The Cincinnati Bengals listening to trade offers for Trey Hendrickson. NFL media is reporting that Cincy is fielding calls for the reigning NFL sack champ after recent contract negotiations broke down. Earlier in the offseason, the Bengals gave Hendrickson permission to seek out a trade this offseason, but no deal came together. The 30-year-old first-team All-Pro skipped the team's offseason program in the first few days of training camp before reporting. He has not practiced since rejoining the team and said multiple times this offseason he will not play out the year under his current contract. There's speculation that the Panthers, the Browns, and the Colts are amongst the teams most interested in trading for Hendrickson. Not sure why the Commanders and Patriots aren't on that list. Also not sure why the Bengals didn't move Trey Hendrickson this offseason. If, in fact, they do end up trading him, this will be one of the worst roster-building gaffes we've seen in recent memory. In a, quote, all-in season, the team elected to trade one of its most valuable assets at a time in the calendar where there are fewer options to get something in return that can help the team this year. It's clear the organization believed that they did not believe in the player's resolve to hold his ground on a contract demand. Looks like the Bengals were wrong, and that mistake could result in another lost season for Joe Burrow.
They have bungled this so badly.
Yeah.
KYP, know your personnel. You should have known how serious he was about this. And if you didn't want to pay him, you should have done something about this earlier, as you just outlined, CC. Knowing that you're in win-now mode with Joe Burrow, knowing that you not only paid him, but you paid T. Higgins, you paid Jamar Chase, and that this window you have with this franchise quarterback is very finite, why did you take this approach with Trey Hendrickson? I cannot understand it for the life of me.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me either. They missed with this one. And here's the thing. I get that sometimes franchises will try to hold players' feet to the fire because they don't believe that the player is willing to miss out on opportunities to play football for money. After all, this is what most of these guys have done their entire lives. Since they were 6 or 7 years old, all they've done is play football. So if you get them in the building this time of year and they're not playing football from a contract because of a contract, you're hoping that once they get around their teammates in a competitive environment, that instinct will take over and they'll get on the field, aka acquiescing to whatever contractual structure the organization is most comfortable with. It's clear that that's not going to happen with Trey Hendrickson. And so that was obviously a miscalculation from the Cincinnati Bengals perspective, and it could cost them dearly this season.
Well, what should the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson do next?